That's right, Screen Fame fans. It is Star Wars time. And since they've gotten rid of George Lucas and ended his plan of reintroducing the trilogies back to the movie theaters, and they came in like, stop. No, stop this. We're not going to go through this. No, this whole process is dumb. Stop. This money grab is not the way to go. We're buying you out. Buying you out, Yahoo. And ever since they've taken over Disney, they have revitalized and blew breath of life back into the Star Wars franchise. Who George Lucas has really lost the passion for continuing. And because of it, his vision was lost. A lot of his qualities, they basically are redoing what he's already done and what's already been recorded or brought to the forefront. So now that they're rehashing a lot of things that he's seen, he's with it, but he's kind of not. But what was talked about, even back when they were doing Empire Strikes Back, was the Star Trek series. And Star Trek was coming out, and like, wouldn't that be cool if the Star Trek fans and Star Wars fans all got together to see one big movie, who would win, and all these things. The Star Trek, Star Wars fans have always been at each other's heads going back since the beginning of time. Since it all started, and the Trekkies, it's just been incredible. Movies, they've actually put out a movie called Trekkies. Can you believe that? So when J.J. Abrams, who blew life back into the Star Trek series and franchise and brought it and introduced a new audience to Star Wars and Star Trek, and he was going to be picked, and he left Star Trek alone to come over here to start working on Star Wars, The Force Awakens. It was the only one that didn't have a episode title in it. It was not titled Episode 7. It was just The Force Awakens. Now, when The Force Awakens was made or set up and they were getting everything going, they were doing their press release, they had J.J. Abrams basically saying, like, are you guys going to tie them in and do a movie together? He laughed like, no. I don't think they would ever allow such a thing. He's like, as cool as that sounds, I just don't think that the studios, that would ever happen. But we've seen from Star Trek before how they integrated the old captain, Captain Kirk, and brought him into the newer age with the new captain. Now, here it is. We all know loose lips sink starships. But this is somebody with a nasal problem. Um, kind of leaked it out to the public because they knew it was going to spread throughout the chat rooms. That in episode 9, not this episode 9 will leave an Easter egg that would link to Star Trek. That will link to Star Trek. An Easter egg. Do you know how potentially interesting that is to the rest of the whole internet world? if they were to leave an Easter egg, that would be incredible. Now you're talking about Star Trek and Star Wars with the possibility of coming out with another film. Because see, you guys got to understand that after they finish these three films, they everybody contract is up. Um, Ray's contract was only for these three films. So was Film, but everyone else is talking about the Old Republic now. They're gonna do the Star Wars series of the Old Republic and not focus no more on the Star Wars saga that's right now. And they might pick it up again later on down the road in another 3 years and continue the saga on. Now, from what you know from Star Wars, it's happened a long time ago in a galaxy far away. So, from what we was learned from George Lucas and everyone, it doesn't even have to happen during our time. Like they're thinking, I'm not talking about the Renaissance. We're going back to the dinosaurs ages. Dinosaurs was on the planet roaming around doing all this time. Things were happening in Star Wars. So it's not like it's at a current time, point in time now. Star Trek is many years in the future. So where does these two lines meet? As many years have passed since, Darth Vader and everything else, it's not like we're going to see Captain Kirk and Luke Skywalker meet each other. What I'm saying is that the timelines eventually could cross each other because Star Wars eventually leads to Star Trek. That's what people don't realize, that the stories really are connected. When the Empire was ruling everything and turned it into a galactic empire, he sent out governors. He broke up the Congress and brought all the senators were basically relieved of duty, and they were sent back to monitor, but he sent governors all throughout the universe to maintain that there would be no more Senate meetings and everybody had to meet up and have a big. That was broken up. They had one galactic empire where he became the emperor and he ruled the galaxy. They created a galactic empire and everyone approved. They sent governors out to make sure everybody fell in line. And throughout the universe, this was happening, the galaxy. So when this happened, many years down the road, and his fall happened, led to them coming back to laws, federations. Remember in episode 1, the Trade Federation. So there was a federation already in place. Now you have the Federation for Star Trek, who's about policing and stopping wars in the galaxy by using democracy. So now you see a system is back in place and up and running and controlling the galaxy again. And that's in the future to prevent the things that happened in the past where there was so much violence and people fighting each other and people breaking off from the Republic, which you had in Star Wars. Star Trek is them policing everything and keeping everybody in place and preventing wars from breaking out. And they send out their little enterprises for missions to go do things if there's a diplomatic situation, just like they would used to send out Jedis to go out there and negotiate to come to a truce. And when the time of the Republic was there in episode 1. So both sides really connect. So if there's an Easter egg in episode 9 that could link to Star Trek, I think that would be quite essential because the galaxy's big, but they're all in it. So what do you think? I'm out. You tell me, is this a good idea? Is it a bad idea? It could be a planet name. It could be some type of species that you've seen in Star Trek. It could be that. But I think that would be the coolest thing ever to happen in Star Trek or a Star Wars film if they were able to pull that off. What do you think? I'm out.